Hi, I'm Bev Adamo with Wild and Wise Women, Wild and Wise Sisterhood, and I'm excited to be here to talk about collaborative living. Collaborative living, what is that, Bev? Well, I didn't look up the dictionary definition of collaborative. So here's what I look at collaborative as being. Collaborative is that thing about where you add 1 + 1 and you get 4. There's a synergy to collaboration. Collaboration is where you're working, playing, being together on this level where it's simply magic. Collaboration is magic. And I want to talk about collaborative living starting at the cellular level. I was thinking about this and it's like, wow, it's not just about collaboration with coworkers or collaboration with family members or collaboration with business associates, or it's there's collaboration is an awesome way to live down to the cellular level. So when you have cells in your body that are competing, like for example, you have healthy cells and diseased cells, and they're competing for the same nourishment, they're competing to live, they're competing, all of that, it just doesn't work. And usually that which is diseased or that which is not healthy, for some reason it seems to have the kind of advantage because it doesn't really care about what happens. It's all about destruction, and that's the way competition can be, is that people don't really care about who wins or who doesn't, or if anybody wins. And so within your body, having a collaborative way of being and living on a cellular level is amazing and awesome. So first of all, let's start with looking at, how does your body work together? Is it working together? Is there one part of you that craves, unhealthy food because it soothes you? And then this other part of you that just loves being healthy and loves feeling great and loves feeling alive and hates it when it gets this unhealthy food and it just feels so heavy and awful and everything. So do you have these parts within you that are not collaborating, that are somehow in conflict or competition, or one trying to control the other? So let's start by looking inside first and seeing, how are we being? How are we living? How are our bodies and our minds and our hearts and our souls? Is that all in collaboration? And another word, that could apply here is alignment. Are we in alignment physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually? Because becoming in alignment and being in that collaborative place within ourselves allow us to be at this higher vibration where we can also attract and be in collaborative relationships with other people. So let me say a little bit more about collaboration. A collaborative relationship, whether it's ourselves or with other people or parts of ourselves, it is a mutually beneficial relationship. Let me say that again. Collaboration means that there is a mutually beneficial relationship. Now understand, mutually beneficial does not have to mean even or fair or equitable even. A mutually beneficial relationship simply means that both parties, whether they're different cells or different people, mutually beneficial means that each person is gaining from that, is growing from that, is able to expand, that there's something that serves both in that. So let's look at something that changes as far as equity for a mutually beneficial relationship. As simple as a mother and a child. When a baby is initially born, the parents, the mother is spending so much time and energy on the baby. I mean, it's mutually beneficial for both of you, and at the same time, it's not even. It's not fair. It's not any of that. It simply is what it is because there's and it creates this amazing love. Yeah, I mean, look at the benefits that come out for both the mother and the baby in that relationship. And then as time goes by, that can shift, that can change to where, our kids aren't necessarily so dependent upon us for their needs or anything like that. And then even to the point like end of life for the parents, is that the child could then be spending much more effort and much more care for that person. So when you're looking at mutually beneficial, you not necessarily want to look at, is it even or equitable or fair? It's not about that. It simply, does it serve all parties in the relationship? So when you're looking at collaboration, again, I would start from the inside and look at yourself. I've looked at myself and I've done that. And that's really where I came to the place of where I was able to let go of almost 90 pounds of extra weight, because I really decided I wanted every single part of me to be loved and to be beneficial and to work together and all of that. And I did the inner work and the outer work to make that happen from a place of collaboration. I mean, my whole body had to be in it. My whole mind, my whole spirit, my whole heart had to be there for this to happen. So as we're working on ourselves, and I'm not saying just stay focused on yourself and don't look around at, what kind of relationships you have on the outside, because that's going to have an effect on what's going on the inside. So while you're looking at yourself and how you can allow your physical, mental, emotional, spiritual body to collaborate better, the different parts of yourselves, how you can really put all of that, your energy in alignment. While you're doing that, I also want you to stop and take a look at the relationships in your life. Family, friends, business relationships, even the relationship with your, with places that you do business with, your mechanic, your people like that. I was talking this morning to a friend of mine who has clients, and she said that one of them is, very demanding. And do our clients have a right to be demanding? Well, they have a right to ask for what they want, to request what they want, to, be clear about what they want. But disrespectful, no, that doesn't come with it. So when you're looking at mutually beneficial relationships, also look at the ease with which the relationship happens. It's not about never having conflict or never having disagreement or never having, different perspectives. It's not about that. In a mutually beneficial, collaborative relationship, you can identify conflict, you can have conflict, and conflict is good, diversity is good. You can have that and stay in a very respectful space and place. We have been taught that it's okay to rip each other apart. We've been taught that it's okay to be mean to each other. We've been taught so many things, and they weren't necessarily, somebody sat us down and said, like to me, Bev, it's okay if you're mean to somebody, if they're mean to you, or blah, blah, blah. No, they don't say that per se. But their actions, the way they respond, that's what I learned, that it was okay to be mean, that it was okay to fight with your spouse, and just be, tear each other apart. I mean, I saw that all over the place. It's time to stop that. It's time to teach ourselves and everyone around us that we can have differences in all ways and still be respectful and still be in love. Because a collaborative relationship may involve tough love, but it will never involve hurtful love. Okay, so now some of the times when we're hurt, it's our triggers and it's our stuff to do, and sometimes it's not. Sometimes people are really mean to us. The ones who love us the most, they're just, they know what gets us, and they can be the meanest to us, and that's just not okay anymore. I don't have that in my life. I really do not allow that in my life because, I trained people to treat me badly for a lot of my life. And then I woke up, and as I started waking up, I realized, oh, I can also be respectful and request and make requests about how I want to be treated, what feels good to me, how can we work this out, how can we do that. And in a collaboration, that's what happens. In a collaboration, you take everything, whether it's a disagreement or an agreement, and it's all magic. It all works. It all multiplies in the benefits that I was talking about. When you're in a truly collaborative, mutually beneficial relationship, it all works. It's all with ease. And I've had people say, well, Bev, I'm human, you're human, we make mistakes. I don't know. I'm thinking it's time to hold ourselves to a little bit higher standard with compassion. Like I said, we've been taught so many things that just don't work anymore. It's time to stop that, to stop the competition, to stop the control, to stop the humiliation, the shame, any of the things that are human constructs that are really in place to help us control other people. No more, no more control. Let's collaborate, first of all, within ourselves, and find that place, find that example, be that role model of what it is to collaborate. And when you can do that internally and you're also working on it externally, whoa, wow, the quality of your life shifts quantumly. So, okay, Bev, all right. So I'm like completely out of alignment. What do I do? Where do I start? Oh, well, awesome. Because the answer is really simple. Where do you start is right here, right now, in this moment. Take a breath. Know that up until this point, until now, you have done everything to get yourself here. Yay for you. And now you get to start doing things differently. So begin to become aware of how you treat yourself, how you talk to yourself, how you nourish yourself, whether with food or water or exercise or anything else. What are you doing for yourself that really is putting yourself into alignment? And practice it every day. And be grateful, because I know there are things that you're already doing that are extraordinary for yourself and in your relationships with other people. And when you start looking at those relationships with other people and you look around, I know at one point I looked around and I said, whoa, I have 0 mutually beneficial relationships with others. Like, what do I do with that? Well, again, because I was working on myself and because I was very committed to doing what was right for me and become in alignment with my heart's desires, to expand and have this amazing collaboration with God, with Spirit, with Source. As I was doing that, I also noticed that, you know, there were people who sort of fell away from my life, that it wasn't fun anymore because they couldn't fight with me. You know, I wasn't up for fighting. It wasn't fun anymore because I wasn't mean to them and they weren't mean to me anymore. And so they're like, well, I need to go somewhere else to get my mean fixed because it ain't coming from Bev. Well, hallelujah. No, it isn't. And the same goes for you. As you're looking around at your relationships, whether it's a partner, life partner, business partner, colleagues, coworkers, somebody you do business with, family, friends, siblings, children, parents. Look at those, be willing to look at those relationships and say, how can I be a better person in this relationship? And as you're that better person, if it is within that other person to also be that, they will rise with you. They will absolutely rise with you. And if their path is something else and they're just not ready for or anything else, if it's something else, allow them to be on their path and go their way in a respectful, compassionate, caring way. Like I said, collaborative and being in collaboration means that sometimes you're letting go. You're practicing that tough love by allowing others in your life to be responsible for who they are. And when you're doing that, realize that that's the best thing you can do for them. I have so many rather dramatic experiences that have proven that to me over and over and over again. The best thing that I can do for everyone else, the way I can serve everyone else, is to do what's best for me, to look at what I need, to be willing to nourish myself. And in doing that, then I start to become available for these collaborations, available for the mutually beneficial relationships, available for the magic that happens when you're truly collaborative, when you let go of the idea of competition. There is infinite abundance. There is no lack, none, 0. And for those of us who look at, well, what about, these people over here who can't afford to do this or that? Well, here's what I look at as well. Those of us who have the capacity to create intense and immense abundance in our lives and give it away, then that's what we're here for. Again, collaborations are not about being fair or even or equitable. So if there are people in my hometown who are homeless and I can make a ton of money and then distribute that out, then let me do that. That's where I need to put my focus and everything else, by doing what's best for me, by bringing in that abundance. And then I can share it with these other people. Those are mutually beneficial relationships. They're collaborations. And we can do that in every aspect of our life and every aspect of our world. So you are invited right now to find that collaborative space within you, physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, and in that process to share it with the world, to demand, to require that the people around us also are willing to be in that beautiful collaborative space. We don't have to be perfect there, because it allows us the ability to grow and expand and learn, and to get rid of our triggers and all those things. In collaboration, everything is possible. I've seen it, I've lived it, I know it. And you're invited right now to be wild, to be wise, and to live collaboratively. Thank you so much, and until later, know that you're loved. Bye.